think we can all agree that we don't want forever chemicals in our drinking water, right? Well, certainly Congress agrees, and they directed the Biden administration to come up with the first ever federal rule to limit the amount of those forever chemicals in our drinking water. And in April of 2024, the Biden administration did. At the time, environmentalists said the rule the Biden administration came up with was one of the most protective in the world. But now, the Trump administration wants to get rid of the rule. But why? Why would they want these chemicals in our water? Great question. I'm going to tell you what the Trump administration is saying about it in a second, but you should also know this is not a done deal. In order for the Trump administration to roll this rule back, they need to hear from you. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot to say. So I'm going to tell you how you can get involved in this video. But first, I want to thank my paid Facts HQ subscribers for voting overwhelmingly for this story as the bonus this week. If you want to vote on next week's bonus story and you want to get some other cool perks from me, just follow these easy steps and become a paid subscriber too. It is because of the generosity of my paid Facts HQ subscribers that I'm able to continue to report the news for you like this every single day. Without them, my channel would disappear. So if you want to support my work, and of course only if you can, please consider becoming a paid subscriber. So let's get into these forever chemicals. They are technically called perfluoroalkyls and polyfluoroalkyls, or PFAS for short. PFAS is the general term for thousands of different synthetic chemicals found in, at this point, everything around the world. They take a really long time to break down. The usage of some of these PFAS chemicals have been phased out in the United States, but others are definitely still being used. They've been found in various products and industries since the 1950s because of their ability to repel oil and water. They're used in things like Teflon nonstick products, stain and water repellent in fabrics and carpets, in cosmetics, painting, and in cleaning products, in food packaging, and even in firefighting foams. Because the chemicals have been so widely used for so many years, the Environmental Protection Agency has said PFAS chemicals at this point are found in water, air, fish, and soil, not just in the U.S., but around the world. And the Centers for Disease Control says while their use is certainly declining, PFAS chemicals are definitely found in all of our bloodstreams, from adults to newborns. PFAS chemicals have been known, depending on your level of exposure, to cause reproductive, developmental, and hormonal issues, along with some cancers and increased cholesterol levels. Take a breath. I know. So, as I said at the beginning of this video, in April of 2024, after a lengthy rulemaking process, which included your comments, the Biden administration finalized its brand new drinking water standard. That rule set limits for 5 individual PFAS chemicals and set limits on mixtures of 4 different PFAS chemicals. On top of that, the Biden administration announced $1 billion in funding set aside by Congress in the bipartisan infrastructure law that was passed under Joe Biden to help states and territories implement PFAS testing and treatment of public water systems, and to even help owners of private wells address their PFAS contamination. Under the Biden rule, everyone had to be compliant and abide by this new drinking water standard by April of 2029. Well, just a few weeks ago, President Trump's Environmental Protection Agency announced a new proposed rule to get rid of the Biden drinking water standard and replace it with a new rule that only limits 2 of the PFAS chemicals instead of Biden's 5. This new rule would allow the other 3 individual PFAS to stay and appears to also allow the mixture of the other 4 PFAS chemicals. Trump's EPA is also proposing a separate rule to give companies an additional 2 years to comply with the more narrow Trump PFAS rule. Under this new proposal, companies would have until 2031 to remove just the 2 PFAS chemicals from our drinking water. The Trump EPA also said they too would be giving $1 billion to states to address these PFAS. But the thing is, that $1 billion appears to be the same $1 billion Biden already announced 2 years ago. It's coming from the exact same pot of money from the bipartisan infrastructure law that Biden signed. So while the Trump administration says it's new money, it's unclear if it actually is. So why is the Trump EPA doing this? Aren't they supposed to care about our health and the safety of our water? Well, the Trump administration agrees that PFAS are a problem, and they agree that they need to be dealt with. But they disagree with the way the Biden administration came up with that water standard rule. The Trump administration says the Biden EPA made procedural errors during the rulemaking process that probably wouldn't stand up to legal challenges. The Trump administration also believes rolling the Biden-era rule back is necessary because the Trump EPA believes the costs that companies would have to swallow in order to implement Biden's drinking water standard could be passed on to the American people, even though there's that $1 billion available for the states and these companies to implement it. The Trump administration says in the meantime, they are moving forward with all this new technology to better detect PFAS in drinking water and to better remove them from drinking water. The EPA justified repealing the Biden rule by saying a drinking water standard only protects Americans if it can actually be implemented by the nation's water systems and survive legal challenge. So, when do you come in? When do you get your say? Now. Right now, the EPA has scheduled a public virtual meeting on all of this on July 7th, where you can share your thoughts publicly, but you will need to register if you want to attend that virtual meeting, or you can add your written comment to the public registry. The deadline to do both of those things is July 1st, and if you want to figure out how to do all of this and you want to get all the links, I'm going to email everything out to you in my next Facts HQ email, which of course is free, so make sure you sign yourself up.